Welcome back to Rock Bottom is the New Normal. This is Brian. Um, I think a couple of topics I wanted to touch on today. One is community, um, groups, right? I've recently gotten into going to some pretty consistent meetings, and I have to say that if I discovered this at the beginning of my sobriety, I think it would have made it a lot easier. I I got sober and I was like against AA and all of that. Like I'm not a religious person and I didn't like the religion aspect of it. So like I was just like so against it because I tried to go when I couldn't get sober. I'd get my sobriety together a little bit. I'd relapse, I'd detox, I'd relapse, I'd detox, I'd relapse, like over and over again, over again. I tried to go to AA quite a few times, and I couldn't get into it. I didn't feel like it was for me. I didn't feel, like welcome. I guess like I was absolutely welcome. I don't want that to get misconstrued that everyone is welcome at AA with open arms and they help out so many people. And I think it's a great community and I think it's huge. And that's kind of what this is about. But for me, it like wasn't my spot. Um, and so I kind of raw dogged my sobriety. Like I didn't have anyone around me that was like minded. Like I didn't surround myself with sober people. I surrounded myself with people that, like were already in my life, and they supported my sobriety. And I made my sobriety like I was very accountable about it. So even if I did fall off the wagon, like everyone would know about it and they would be upset about it. So I recently discovered in if you work in the restaurant industry and you're thinking about getting sober, you are sober. It's called Ben's Friends. I will post links about it. Like I have some links already posted. They do 2 Zoom meetings a day. Uh, they do, I think it's 1 p.m. Eastern time and then 11 p.m. Eastern time. And it is it's a community of people who have worked in restaurants and they're sober. They're trying to get sober. Like it's like AA, but it's all basically, restaurant industry workers. And it's like a beautiful thing. Like I know for me and if anyone listening to this or anything is also a restaurant worker, there is like a sense of community already there. Like it's the industry. Like we talk to each other way differently than we talk to a lot of people. Like if I meet people who work in the industry, like they're automatically friends, they're automatically family. Like immediately, like I feel a strong connection between them if they're like, yeah, like I'm also an industry worker. Like I'm right there with them. I'll help them move out of their apartment. Like I'll watch their kids, like whatever. Like I'm your guy. And so it's nice having that. It's nice having that community and that camaraderie in this now. And it's such a big thing. And it's such a huge and amazing community. And what they're doing is amazing because restaurants are tough. Restaurants, it's a tough industry. You're around alcohol the whole time and it's so, you know, like normalized that you're drinking and like people drink who work in restaurants is just so normalized and it's such a stressful, high-paced, like just little alarm clocks are going off the entire time in your head. Everyone needs something. It's stressful. Like feeding people. How I think about it or how I describe it to people who aren't in the industry or, like haven't really spent that much time in the industry, it's like you're hosting a dinner party. Like, I'm sure most people have, like, hosted a dinner party. They've had, like, friends over for dinner, that kind of stuff, and it's, like, so stressful, right? Like, you wanna make sure that they're having the best time of their life. Like, they're coming to see you, you're stressed. You're not sleeping the night before. You're probably, like, starting the dinner way too early because you wanna make sure that everything's perfect. It's like doing that 250, 500 times a day, and that is so crazy, and it's so stressful, and it puts a lot on people who work in the restaurant industry, and and then having the availability of alcohol, shift drinks, that kind of stuff. Drugs are so readily available in restaurants. Having all that together really makes it so restaurant workers don't stand much of a chance to be sober. They don't stand much of a chance to be like normal functioning human beings. And I think that's such a bummer. And if you know somebody who is sober or, doesn't have a big problem with drugs and alcohol that works in the restaurant industry, like that's a strong individual. And like they need to be celebrated because it's tough. I know firsthand it's so hard to be sober in the restaurant industry, and it's really hard for me to stay sober in the restaurant industry. And even me having over 4 years under my belt, and really like having this sobriety thing on lock, my routines down. I know what my triggers, and I know like how my feelings are when certain things happen and how I should plan ahead, and like I'm so locked in on all this stuff, but I still have, like those thoughts, those urges, all of that. And hard shifts don't make it any better. Long 10, 12 hour shifts where everything seems to go wrong the entire time, and you're treading water and you're drowning the whole time. That doesn't help me stay sober. Um, and so I think I've been looking and I've been searching for something that kind of, it's just maintenance at this point. It's me just maintaining sobriety. And so I've been looking for something that helps the maintenance. And yeah, I gotta say, like Ben's friends, the meetings are huge. They they usually have a structured topic, and then they just kind of like open the floor, like whoever raises their hands, or if they call on somebody, those that person gets a few minutes to talk about the topic and how it resonates with them. And you learn a lot about some of these people, and you connect to their stories in ways that you never would have thought. And it's also a beautiful, beautiful thing because you can be sitting there and like you can be having a shitty day, right? Like I was having kind of a shitty morning. I had like a shitty night the night before. And like, my life kind of lately it seems like I'm in like Groundhog's Day. Like I feel like I'm waking up and I'm doing the same stuff, and then I feel like I'm having the same conversations with the same people in the same places, and that really gets to me. I'm from a small island, and that was the biggest thing that like pushed me away to where I'll probably never live there again, is the same conversations with the same people about this, like at the same fucking places. It's so monotonous. It's so ticky tacky. It's like, oh, did you see so and so didn't mow their grass? Like it's been 13 days. Like I'm keeping track. It's that little shit that really irks me. And sometimes I get into ruts where I start to kind of feel the monotonous of everything, and everything, feels more than just my routine, which, don't get it twisted. I need my routine, I need the structure. But sometimes there's that next layer where it just feels Groundhog Day, like I'm Bill Murray and I'm just having the same day over and over again. Um, so I've been like kind of feeling like that. And I was able, they allowed me to catch a couple meetings, and it recentered me and it put me in such a good mood listening to these people that are having great things in their life because of sobriety. Listening to people talk about their sobriety and the great things that come is the best thing about sobriety, I think, for me at least. Like, sure, my life is a fuck of a lot better now that I'm sober. Everything is better. My bad days are good days when I was drinking. Like, it's so great. But my favorite part of being sober is listening to other sober people talk about how good their life is and good things that are happening to them. And, it's funny because most sober people that I hear talk about it always talk about like a bad thing that happened to them, or like, oh, like this is going on in my life. And then they always, not always, but like almost always follow it up with, that's not that bad. Because it's never like that bad. Like nothing, for the most part, that happens in our lives in sobriety is that bad. Even the stuff that was happening when we were using, like, it probably wasn't that bad, but everything was so extrapolated because we were, you know, drunk, and we were just feeling sad and down, and everything was in a big magnifying glass. Anyway, Ben's Friends, check it out if you work in the restaurant industry. Check it out if you don't. Like, they will still welcome you. Um, Meetings are important, camaraderie is important, community is important. So if you are thinking about getting sober, trying to get sober, are sober, and you don't utilize these meetings and like this community that's out there, try it. Like, just go and try it. Coming from me who didn't do it and got sober pretty much like all by myself, with, like, I had people around me, but like that was more just making sure that I was holding true. But you need it. You need to talk to people about the fucked up shit that you did, and listen to the fucked up shit that they did, and listen to how good their life is, and you tell them how good your life is. Like, you need it. We all need it, and it helps so much. It's going to help every time you go. You're going to feel good leaving. Like, it's hard to like build it into your routine, and it's so easy to be like, oh, like, I just don't really feel like, catching a meeting today. But like 1,000,000% of the time, you will not regret going to the meeting. And anyone in recovery will agree with that statement. You'll never regret going to the meeting. The meeting's always going to be good. It's always going to be exactly what you need. Yeah. So there's that. And then another thing I wanted to kind of touch on is, just leave you like with a quote, maybe, to just kind of like bounce around your day. I talked about it a little bit. I have a TikTok that I post videos on like almost daily, and then they also go on my Instagram account too. Um, but Brandon Novak, he used to be on the Jackass cast, and he was, super fucked up all the time. Like, he was drinking, he was doing drugs, he got sober, and his story is it's just so powerful. It's so powerful the way that he talks about sobriety that it's like it's something to witness for sure. If you're not familiar at all, like go check out Brandon Novak, go check out like where he came from to where he is now. It's stellar. And how he talks about it and how excited he is about sobriety and passionate. He's so fucking passionate about sobriety. Um, I think it's something to for sure witness or at least like just check out. But he says in one of his videos, and I think it was on Instagram, and I don't know if it was him who came up with it or if he was, like quoting somebody else, but he said, "You can't stay sober on yesterday's sobriety." And that's so that's just so there. It's right down Main Street. It's like a quote that you can use and you can sit with whenever, you get into that, like I was saying, that lull, that rut. Because we get on like autopilot almost, especially in sobriety after you go through those waves where like you get like a month or two and then you're like, you know what, I got this thing fucking licked up, taken out. Like I'm good. And you're never good. That's how most people relapse. That's how I always relapsed. You get to like 6 months, a year, and you're like, I got this thing fucking tied up. It's out on the curb. It's done. No, that's alcohol's way of making you complacent and not being on top of it. So when you get like that, when you get to that point where you're like, I'm sober, I've been sober. I'm good. I'm the man. I'm fucking good. And you start to think that and you stop doing your daily shit. Like you stop being accountable, you stop maintaining, you stop the maintenance of it all, which it's not a lot of maintenance, but like it's a daily routine of maintenance that you have to go through to maintain sobriety. Like you have to keep it in check, otherwise it's gonna flip your boat. So we get to that point where, and it happens where we're like, yeah, like I got this thing done and over with. I'll just coast. I'll coast through sobriety. I'm good. I'm not gonna pick up a drink or anything. But that's not always true, right? Like he said, you can't stay sober on yesterday's sobriety. You have to keep the ball moving. You have to keep the ship pointed forward. Otherwise, this thing's so fucking powerful and it's so nasty and it's so fucking mean that it'll get you, right? Like you can't keep the dog at bay forever. And especially if you're not, like locked in the cage. So you gotta keep you gotta keep it in check for sure. Um Another thing that I learned in Ben's friends, not so much learned, I think they just kind of like they put a face to a name or a name to a face or a name to an activity, I guess. Uh, they call it playing the tape forward. And I think that this is so important. Basically, what it means is like, say you're going out to a bar, you've gotten sobriety, you've done it, you're maintaining it, you're killing it day in and day out, you're good. Go to a bar. And I think everyone is going to get to that where they're like, what happens? What happens if I have one drink? Like, why can't I have one drink? Why can't I have a shot? Why can't I have a glass of wine? Why can't I, have this really nice cocktail that I've always wanted to try? Or like, this sounds so delicious. It's on everything. It checks all of my boxes because that's me, like these fucking Cocktails. Like I come up with cocktails all the time. I'm creative. I love it. It's a passion of mine, but I can't, drink them. So I have that a lot still where I'm like, if I just have a little bit, right? Like what's the worst that could happen? I'm like, yo, Tim Sack, you're over 4 years sober. You're good to go, Playboy. Um, you can have this drink and you'll be fine. You'll get back to sobriety right after that, right? Like, who cares? So then you have to play the tape forward. So it's like say I have that drink, right? What happens after that? Probably nothing. Probably nothing like super bad immediately. But I think that the floodgates would start to kind of, open a little bit more. I think that drink would turn into probably in a couple more days, I'd have another drink, right? And if that drink's tasting good, I might have two of those. A couple more days goes by, like I might have, a couple beers, maybe a shot, and then it just kind of starts to spiral. And then before I know it, just say 2 months, 2 months from now, 2 months is not a very long time in the grand scheme of things. 2 months goes by quickly. 2 months from now, I am back to a half gallon a day. I am doing drugs to try to maintain, to keep my job, to afford my habits. I more than likely am spending more money at the bars, and I'm spending more money than I'm, potentially bringing in. I get behind. I'm already behind at that point. 2 months from now, my my apartment building's probably going to start emailing me or calling me, being like, "Hey, you missed a payment." Then that just spirals further and further, and before I know it, my two dogs and I are homeless and trying to figure out the next pivot. And at that point, I would have to reach out for help and let everyone who is counting on me to stay sober and who is so proud of me and all of these relationships that and connections that I've rebuilt over these 4 years and that I've put so much work into molding this lifestyle and getting myself to be this presentable, nice, caring, empathetic human being. Like that's all gone. No one turns quicker on someone than people who believe in addicts on a second chance. Because odds are it's not just your second chance, right? People who come back around when you get sober and you rebuild all of this love and trust, and it's painstakingly rebuilt, right? And I'm sure a lot of people will understand this. No one's going to turn on you faster than those people when you fuck up and you relapse. I can assure you, they have the least amount of patience for us and our fucking addictions. And cuz they see it. They saw us through the worst of it. They saw me, drinking a half gallon a day. They saw me through my detoxes. They saw me, in the fucking hospital. Like they saw me ruin my entire fucking life. And then they've seen me get sober and they saw how hard I worked and they saw, me pushing this fucking boulder up a hill, and they saw the man that I can be and the man that I am now. And as soon as all of that's gone, like they're like, no, fuck that. Like we have no more patience for that. And so I lose everything. If I have that one drink, I lose everything. And it would be a lot quicker than probably most people think. And that's playing the tape forward. And that's an important exercise that I think everyone I think everyone should fucking do it if they're addicts or not. Like, that's a really important skill and tool to have on your belt. If you're playing the tape forward and you're taking a step back in situations and you're kind of seeing worst case scenarios out, that's an important life tool. Just to be able to, see you fuck up and then rewind it and then not go down that path. I think everyone would be a lot happier and they'd be more successful and they would just be in a lot better place if they just did that. Anyway, that's about all I have on those. Well, recap. Another little play the tape forward, rewind it. Check out Ben's Friends, even if you're just curious, just check it out. It's a like if I think they might have like donations. I haven't looked that far into it. It's a great, it's a it's a super fucking great community. It's dope as hell. Like I think anybody helping anybody get sober is cool, but it hits hard so much for me because it's restaurant workers helping restaurant workers get and stay sober, and that's so fucking cool. Uh, don't stay sober on yesterday's sobriety. That's a huge fucking quote. Use it. Think about it. And then play the tape forward. Just if you can do these three things this week, that's your homework. Again, yeah, this is Brian. I hope you guys are all liking this because I really like talking about all this, and I like it when people reach out to me and I can talk to them about it. I love talking to people about sobriety, about my story, about my sobriety, about your sobriety. Like that's probably my favorite topic that there is that I talk about. So I appreciate you all. I love you all. I'm so proud of literally everyone that is listening, or even if you're not listening, still fucking proud of you.